75 grand right out of high school and no college debt. And you're thinking, what's the job? Athlete? Social influencer? Nope. Try welder. That's the salary commanded by an 18-year-old who will soon graduate from Philadelphia's Catholic Father Judge High School. And he's not alone. All 24 graduating seniors in the school's welding program have job offers of $50,000 and above. Aiden Holland is the student with the $75,000 commitment from a defense contractor in New Jersey. They want him to be a nuclear submarine welder. And these stories are not one-offs. They're part of a reevaluation that Randi Weingarten, the head of the American Federation of Teachers, calls shedding the misperception some may still have of technical education as a dumping ground for students headed for low-skill, low-paying jobs. This is the new thinking. The world of education is in a state of flux. The 3 R's now stand for rework, revamp, and review. And this thinking applies to both high school and college. And I don't mean the College of Cardinals. It's been long overdue and now accelerated by the role of artificial intelligence. A poll of 1,000 college students showed that almost 90% of them used the chatbot to help with homework. And that was taken right after the launch of ChatGPT. More recent research shows widespread use of AI in both high schools and colleges. The question today is not are students getting help from AI, but are they doing any of the work themselves? Thus, we get the story of Chungin Roy Lee, as told by New York Magazine. A computer science major at Columbia, he was quite open about how he exploited OpenAI. He used it on almost all assignments. He said 80% of his essays were AI generated. Quote, I'd put on the finishing touches, I'd just insert 20% of my humanity. The essays might have been 20% Lee's, but he got 100% of the grade, and that was okay with him. As he explained, most assignments in college are not relevant. But he adds they're hackable by AI. In fact, Lee launched an AI tool that helps students cheat their way through a job interview. Columbia put him on disciplinary probation. Lee notes that Columbia has partnered with OpenAI, which created ChatGPT, so why punish him? He predicts that it won't be long before using AI for homework won't be considered cheating. And if AI can do all the work, then why even go to class? A recent Harvard Crimson article by Sandhya Kumar, class of 2026, looks at the issue of students playing hooky, noting that Harvard has recognized there's a problem and now requires a certain level of attendance. Wrong answer, says Kumar. She says she pulls out her iPad or laptop to work on other assignments when the lecturer can't hold her attention. She recognizes missing class comes with a cost, but her analysis suggests it might be worth it. Check this out. Harvard's tuition, $56,550 a year. Quote, every class I miss costs around $117.81 plus the non-monetary cost of potential implications on my course grade. Who wants to waste $117 and forego a coveted A? The true cost of attending class isn't just measured in dollars, it's measured in time, energy, and opportunity. Every once in a while, that $117.81 feels like a worthwhile trade-off for an extra hour to finish an assignment, prepare for an exam, or recover from an all-nighter. And so I skip class. Kumar adds that students skip out because they don't feel they're learning anything new. They can get what they need based on their own with class materials. So if AI can do all the work and class attendance is unnecessary, then why even invest the 4 years to get a degree? The White House seems to support this position in its own way. President Trump recently signed an executive order that states the government is no longer behind the one-size-fits-all approach to education, which previous administrations promoted as college for all. This new order is designed to modernize American workforce programs to prepare citizens for the high-paying skilled trade jobs of the future. And so we've come full circle now with the Republican Trump White House sounding very much like the teachers union leader Randi Weingarten, education making for strange bedfellows. And then again, the president may have his own reasons for supporting this reform because in recent election cycles, education has become the single best predictor of political leanings. Consider that in the 2024 election, Republicans won 14 of the 15 least educated states. Democrats won 14 of the 15 most educated states. Of course, it wasn't that long ago when being a college graduate meant that everybody thought you had the world by the tail and they had advice for you.
I just want to say one word to you. Just one word.
Yes, sir.
Are you listening?
Yes, I am.
plastics.
Exactly how do you mean?
There's a great future in plastics. Think about it.
But as we've seen with the rethinking of the place of education and fresh out of high school welding jobs, the emphasis on college for earnings is changing. Mind you, the data still shows that college is the best bet in the long run. According to a recent study with Georgetown University, somebody with a bachelor's degree earns $2.8 million on average over their lifetime. A high school diploma will earn you $1.6 million. Of course, that's just the beginning of the calculus. For instance, engineering and business majors, they earn significantly more than those who get degrees in education or the arts. At the same time, learning a skilled trade offers job security that you can't always find elsewhere. I remember a great bestseller years ago by Thomas Stanley and William Danko. It was called The Millionaire Next Door. The surprising thesis, backed by a ton of research, was that if you want to find someone who's worth $1 million, there's no need to go to Beverly Hills or Park Avenue. You can just look around your own neighborhood. If a person has a steady job, is able to build up a business or a reliable service, and doesn't live a showy, flashy lifestyle, they'll be able to accumulate a surprising amount over the years. A compelling takeaway from The Millionaire Next Door is that many of the millionaires profiled, they weren't doctors, they weren't lawyers, they weren't executives. They were skilled tradespeople. They were small business owners. And the authors found that a significant proportion of millionaires were self-employed in what might be considered blue-collar or middle-market industries. Think plumbers, think welders, electricians, contractors, pest control operators. These individuals often built modest businesses over time. They exercised strict financial discipline. They reinvested profits rather than indulging in lifestyle inflation. Unlike some high-income professionals who often live paycheck to paycheck in high-status neighborhoods, these tradespeople, they lived well below their means. They avoided debt. They focused on wealth accumulation rather than status signaling. So with all the discussion of education reform, one fact emerges. No matter your path, it's not just the learning you get, but what you do with it. Joining me now, someone who knows a great deal about it, Angie Simon, who in 2021 started the Heavy Metal Summer Experience, a nonprofit program that exposes high school students to careers in trades such as welding, plumbing, piping. It's a free program with over 50 locations across the United States and Canada. Angie, what happened to Wood Shop? What happened to Metal Shop? Tomorrow is Mother's Day. I think my mother still has the ladle that I made for her in Metal Shop, and somewhere I've got one of the business cards that I block style put together in Wood Shop.
You know, Michael, that's the problem. That's where the issue is. Somebody asked me, how long do I want to run Heavy Metal Summer Experience? And I said, only until we can get wood shops and metal shops back in high schools. Right now, high schoolers don't know about the trades, and that's the problem. They don't have a chance to experience what it does working with your hands. And I think we need to get that back into our high schools, and our high schools need to respect the fact that there's a lot of other good paths to a career besides college.
Will you speak to the demand? Because I know you've got the data and you know what the situation is across the country, right? It's not just that we want to put these people through your program. There are jobs waiting for them.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There are so many jobs waiting for them. I mean, right now in construction, we are short about 400,000 jobs. And we have about 40% of our industry retiring in the next 5 to 7 years. So being short already, and then they're going to retire in our industry, there is so much opportunity for anybody that would like to be in the trades. And as you had said earlier, many of the tradespeople come through the trades and they start their own businesses as well. Probably about 65% of our contractors within SMACTA, the Sheet Metal Contractors Association, are own businesses by people that came through the trades. So it's such a great opportunity for the students to come through the trades.
We're showing some video of your heavy metal workshop. One of your students said something that caught my ear and my eye. Can we run that tape and I'll ask Angie a question?
There's too many people who don't know about the trades, and I'm glad that they're able to change that with this program.
Alejandro says there are too many who don't know about the trades, and as I watched the video and learned more about this effort, I thought to myself, who do we need to reach? Do we need to reach these students? That would seem obvious. Or really, is the issue their parents?
Yeah, it's a little of both, and counselors to a certain degree, and school districts. But I am surprised when the parents are so surprised when they come to graduation from our camps to find out how much money a student can make. And the fact that they can be, if you join the union, you are getting trained with no cost to you and you're making money while you're doing it. And they find out that they get pensions, they get benefits and everything else. They find out that they can make six figures. So it's amazing how quickly the parents will change their tune and say, okay, maybe we don't need to go to college. But we are also focusing on the at-risk and underserved areas. And these are parents that really weren't sure what their kids were going to do, period. And they look so relieved to see that their kids are enjoying this, working with their hands, and actually making projects. So I know that we hit a little bit of a button here because all of a sudden we grew so fast. I mean, to go from 28 kids in 2 camps in 21 to this summer going to have almost 900 students across the United States and Canada. Obviously, it's really needed. And sadly, we're turning down kids from our applications. We have so many applicants for all of our camps. And go ahead.
I know that a lot of parents, hope that their son, their daughter will rise up and work with their hands as an orthopedist or a dentist. But the takeaway here is you can get that same level of satisfaction and earn a good living through the skilled trades. Final thought is yours for 20 seconds.
Well, we were talking about when tradespeople, when I started college, got out of college, so 45 years of college, and started work at Western Ally where I began, mechanical contractor. The pipe fitters who were the same age as I was had already bought homes in the Bay Area. And I had just gotten out of school and I was just starting working. And that's the part that is interesting. You start 18 years old in the trades and by the time you're 25 years old, you have probably bought a house and even in the Bay Area. So that's the final thought. I mean, look at that opportunity in it. And actually with technology today, construction is not the same construction that people think about. A lot of technology. So.
Angie, it's a great point. In the Wall Street Journal story that I was quoting from, there was a contractor who does recruiting, goes into high schools, and he says, I'm not looking for the same person I was looking for 20 years ago. There's a technical proficiency, an understanding of computers that is now essential to these jobs because they've gone high tech. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate it.
Social media reaction from the world of X. What do we have? College has become a 4-year party that you happen to be able to get a loan for. The bottom line is if you can't monetize your degree, you shouldn't be able to get a loan for it. The taxpayer certainly shouldn't be on the hook to help you find. I think Will makes a good observation about how there's this taxpayer role relative to the college degree that doesn't always apply to the trade schools. Many of us were raised. I was raised this way, and it worked out fine for me. Raised to believe you got to go to college, okay? And all we're here to say is there are great jobs to be had that don't require a college degree. The idea that at Father Judge, which is not far from where I'm seated, that employers are coming in to recruit the welders and starting some of them at $75,000 a year, I think it's fabulous. I think it's terrific. Still to come, is the stage set for an America First versus American Pope showdown? Cardinal Dolan offering this.
I don't think the fact that Cardinal Prevost was from the United States had much weight. Will he want to build bridges to Donald Trump? I suppose, but he would want to build bridges with the leader of every nation.
And don't forget to vote on today's poll question at smerconish.com. There it is. Was the election of Pope Leo XIV, an American, a deliberate choice meant to contrast with President Donald Trump? While you're there voting, sign up for my newsletter. It's free, it's worthy. Jack Oman sketched this for us.